Now here's my second instructions on how to make an oak leaf pattern. Now here's one of my books here. You can see there's an oak leaf there. There's a couple of oak leaves there. Okay, so now I'll proceed just to do another design. So here we go. I hope we can get it in. Okay, right. Now, I know I ramble on a little bit when I'm doing these things, so you'll have to excuse me. But there again, it's might be of some interest to some people, you know. Here we go, I'm drawing this now, just getting the rough idea of how I'm going to do it. Now, what I've done is I've made a circle here, which was like a scroll. You see, it could grow and it could move off like this. So this is just an idea I have. So now we're going to do maybe 3 leaves or 4 leaves, but I'll do the 3 leaves for now here, just to save time. And I'll put it in here, this one in here, like so. And it's like the 3 feathers, you see. So another one will grow out this way, so you get a splay coming out. So it's just like a scroll that does a movement like this, you see. And it comes from here, and another, it will come here, you see. So they will vary. You can see even the little design I have here. So this is a big leaf here. So this is giving you the idea of just the formation of the leaf. It's like a laurel leaf, really. Now, the laurel leaf has got no indentations at all. And the other leaves are palmate and all these various names you have for them. Okay, so I'll go in here. Now, I will, there again, think within this space here, maybe I don't need another leaf. I'll put in my little acorns again here. So I'll put them in here, just to give the idea there. We can always alter these as you go along, you see. And then I'll put another one here. So it fills in this space here. But it gives that rhythm like a fan-like effect here. And so there we go. So I'm just going to proceed in drawing this design. I'm putting things in now. As I mentioned before, we've got a little branch that this has to live off. So this is like the backbone of your scrolls too. So instead of just going around there, I might like a little bit to come off this way. So I put it's been hacked off it's either fallen off or it's been pruned. So I'll put another little twig in here, just as an idea at the moment. Here we go. And so there we go, we're forming this here, you see. So we've got that, and now I've got this here, which is up there. What do I do? I've got an empty space here. Now, with oak, I think I'll put another one in here. See, I've changed my mind. This is how you do it when you design, you see. You just look at these things and just see how they move. And I just have a little piece of rubber. It's not a rubber, this is the stuff, what we call blue tack. You stick your cards on the wall with it and all that type of thing. And it's handy for just erasing instead of a pencil rubber. It lifts up, you can see you can dab things off and there, and instead of your pencil marks being so indented and there, you can just touch them off like that. You dab them off. With a pencil rubber, you rub away the surface sometimes. So here we go. So now I've got that. Now we've got like a twig here. This is the twig that's coming off here. And I can make this come down here. I can do all sorts of things with it, you see. So your design, you're getting this rhythm going here like this. And you know, I ramble on, and as I mentioned before, when I'm doing these designs, and I've got the oak leaf here, and I'm thinking you know, what am I going to use? Well, I'm going to use, when I've actually done my quickie with a pencil like this, I'm going to use a pen and ink. Now, if we actually think hard, or if you've been taught, or if you're inquisitive about these things, like in calligraphy and so, you're using ink all the time. Well, in the past years, when the monks were in their monastery, in their little cells, and they were there scribing books, you see, books weren't printed, they were all written by hand. And how did you write this? Well, you get ink. You can get ink from the squid, but if you're not near the seaside and you haven't got any fishermen around, you don't get any of the sepia stuff. It's okay if you're on the coast of Italy and places like so. So you walk into the woods and you look on the ground, or you look into the trees, and there were, in the oak leaf here, on the acorns, when it's just about setting its seed, along comes a little wasp, and she decides, oh, I want to lay me eggs. So she gets into one of these little acorns here, and she puts her little egg into that. So she's going to be a gall wasp. It's a gall, you see. This is what they call a gall. So it distorts, and it's not like an acorn. It gets a sort of wobbly sort of thing. So, but along comes the monk, and he sees this, and he picks them up, and maybe burns them, and then he sees a little bit like the charcoal effect on this thing. Mix it with some water or some binder. How do I bind it? So maybe then he's got some ferric oxide, which is like rust stuff, and he puts that into the mix. So it fixes the ink. It's a fixative in its way, you see. You can use egg yolk and all this, egg whitening and all that type of thing with it, too. But then, because he's put this rust in it, ferric oxide, or something like that, he calls it ink because it's encre in French, and it comes from the Latin and the Greek, encaustic. So it's caustic. So it means it burns in. It means burning. Ink, encre, incrustation or caustic. And so that's why in lots of these old documents sometimes this ink that they have used bites through the paper, and it's like a few pinholes all the way through it, you see. So this is the way I think, and this is what the oak leaf does. And then we have a nation as an empire builders. We've got to sail across the sea, and we've got to trade and that. So what do? Go into the woods, and we look up into the trees, and we see a branch. It's a forked branch, and that's ideal for the ribs of a boat. You don't have to, because it doesn't twist or anything like that. So we build our ships, merchant ships and battleships and things like that in the old days, out of oak. It's good, strong timber. Lasts for years. And then as a nation, we use the adage of hearts of oak are our men. And so this is what the old sailors used to sing, you see. So it gives you this. So you've always got oak in your brain all the time. You go into the church, you sit on the seats, and they're all made from oak. And that's why we seem to love the old oak tree. And the acorns. As kids, you love to play with those things. Here we go. I'm still doodling away. As you see how I'm gradually moving around as I'm talking. I'm rambling on. This is what you do. You see, it's one thing leads to another. This is where your interest comes. You find something of interest, then you look into it, and you can find all sorts of different. See, that's how I've gradually built this one in now. So I'll fill this space in. I could put an acorn in there, or shall I? Yeah, I will fill it in. Just be a bit. We don't know, you see. So if it doesn't look right, we take it out. So I'll put an acorn in there. It's going to come in. It's upside down, shall we say, like that. It's been pushed in, and it's growing in this way. You see how how you can work these designs in? They come into a rhythm. You see, they come into a circle. And if you're making brooches, or if you're in a jewellery trade or something like that, this is what you do. Or if you want to fill in a small space. And so we are working on this. You can make it more rustic, you see, like this. You can put little knobbles on it because that's what the oak does. It becomes an old man. It lasts for hundreds of years. Stays in the same spot, all weathers. There we go. And so that's why walking through the woods, you can smell it. It changes its colour in the autumn. And all these fruits come on and throw on the floor. And this is why, I don't know why, it seems so popular with people asking for it. It's an attractive leaf to carve and to engrave, and our friends here, they want to try making a wedding ring with it. It will be on a wedding ring. It's quite small, but it's still good. And I can't recall what it's like. You know, various plants get their names, like rosemary for remembrance, and there's an oak leaf, I don't know. So if you're going to give it to your wife on a wedding ring, or you're going to keep it like this. Okay, so now we're going to put this in here. What I do now is, I may not have a lot of time, but you see, I've got this drawing with pencil, and I'm going to rub this over the top again, this blue tack, or you can buy it from the shops, as you know. Now you see, it renders it down. It takes off all the carbon on the top, so that you've got your outline. So you never see, or you rarely see me using a pencil rubber to erase. Only maybe a little bit in there, but you see it's erased itself almost. Now you've got that there, and you can do your variations with a pen if you've got a little bit more expertise on it, you see. So I'll take my pen out now, and this is just a one. It's a little bit fine. Okay, oh, I don't know, I've been talking with it out of focus. Oh, here we go. Right. So now I've done this design. I think I may have had it out of line. Oh, please do not. Now, okay, now I'm going to go around this area here. You see, like I'm doing here. That's filling in this space here. Now, what I do, you can see this mono line that I've been working on here. What I do now, because it's just a line, and of course the light and shade comes in, and even if you haven't got shade, this is just for engraving or just to show you when you're drawing. I think of the light coming from this area here, so it's going to cast a shadow underneath. It doesn't cast the shadow over the top, so that line can stay fairly thin. But underneath here, you see, I will darken this area here like this, you see, and so that's, shall we say, it's like if you had the sea here, it's like a cliff, do you see? And you're looking up here, and that's your plane on the top here. So again, you've got this area here, and you take this one down like that. And it will build a little jigsaw puzzle in a way. You can see the jigsaw puzzle effect on there. And that's what you do, because it's made of card or wood or something like that, and it's been pierced out. And then you have that effect. So now, and it's good in again if you're doing bright cuts, you see, bright cut engraving is another thing. So you flange this area out here, so you get the bright. And then with ordinary engraving, if like a gun engraver, we cut for the black. Silver engravers cut for the bright, normally. This is what they do all the time. So here we go. Am I still in focus? Oh, I hope so. You'll have to apologise. I will apologise if I've been so intent on chatting away and rambling, shall we say? Yeah, well, that's what you do when you go through the woods, isn't it? You're a rambler, and you ramble around and you find these things. So this is what I'm doing. See, I'm gradually building it out like this, and I don't know if I will do a finished result here at the moment. I don't know how long these videos will go on. Some people like them a long time. And see, so it's like this. See, I've got this one here, and I'm building it out. As I mentioned before, all the quercus, the oaks and the various other things, they do vary in different breed of oak, you know, type American oak, cork oak, and then there's the English oak, and there's so many varieties, and the leaves either get sharp or rounded. See, so now I'm putting a little bit more of an emphasis on here. If you've got if you're like the Chinese or a calligrapher, and you've got a pen that spreads the nib or the hairs of the brush, you just do this with your pressure. Now with a graver, you do the same. You start fine, give it pressure, and then it gives you these cuts, or you re-enter the cuts again, you see. And so this is how we're working all these here. I wonder whether I should finish this one like this and then give you another video, because I'm afraid it may have gone out while I've been intent on talking and just not concentrating on what's underneath the video, you see. But that's how I seem to work. You know, it's always caught an interest. It always seems to be interesting to do things and then find out the subject you're working on. No matter if it's horses or any animal or something like that, you don't just trace around it and not knowing how the muscles work. You know, it's interesting to look and see how the structure works. It becomes easier, really, if you know what's underlying and what you're aiming for and what the leaves do if they blow in the wind and they change their shape. You know, because everything gets malformed or some other thing happens. And sometimes the malformations are the interesting bits. It's when you stick to just one shape. Maybe a leaf doesn't curve, or maybe it doesn't do it in this way. But that's what we call artistic license. You just make it appealing to the eye, and as I mentioned before, you always get somebody that will try to explain and try to be more pedantic about things. But as long as you get a nice result and it's pleasant, and you can. And the main thing again is self-satisfaction. You get to be stimulated. It's stimulating. All these things do things for your psyche, and, And see how it goes. You see, even if I didn't really know, there, I'll bring this guy out here again, like so. It might not work. This is why you do 2 or 3 or 4 or whatever it is. You use this one as a template for the other one, and then you keep changing your mind, or your serendipity, you head it straight off. Yeah, maybe. So I'll put another one in here. But you notice it's all these curves, exactly what we do with scroll work here. And you whip it round again. And it's that rhythm, you're going there, it's the waves of the sea, and it's the curl of the hair. It's all these appealing things. You get folds in cloth and all these that stimulate the brain, and our ancestors saw it and passed it on to us. That's what we're doing. That's what we want to do to the youngsters today, you see. So we try to, instead of just drawing and being too officious about the way you talk, I like to ramble on. There we go. And then, of course, you could darken this in if you wanted the background here, as I mentioned on my other demo, and take this in, and so you've got your little twigs in there. You see, I'm just doing that and forming this curve there. So I've got another little one coming up here, and all this type of thing. So you can do all these in between. Okay? So I'll just do it here because I just don't like just one little twig. I think you should have a little knob coming out. But use it like you would a scroll, like so. And then here we go again, round and round and round. And I'll finish this one off, and I'll put it online to show you how it's finished. But, as I say with these videos, I'm not certain how long they last. Okay, that's the way I do it. You can see that. Well, my old friends, I hope you can get something from it in any case. All the best for now. Bye now. Here we go. Oh.